Well, good evening, everybody, and thank you so much for joining Fox World Travel and Premier World Discovery on this online travel show, American Wonders. We're so excited that you joined us, and I bet you're glad that you're sitting in your own home at your own computer and not driving on the roads because we are having a bit of a snow event here in Wisconsin. Now, we do have some callers on the line from as far away as Illinois and Tennessee, and they may not be sharing that same rotten weather, but in any event, it isn't very beautiful here in southeast Wisconsin, so glad we're doing it this way instead. On the call today with me, on the webinar today with me, is Kelsey from Premier World Discovery, and she's going to be doing the bulk of the presentation. You are all in listen only mode, so what we're going to suggest at the end is that if you have any questions, we are going to give you an opportunity to reach out to your favorite travel consultant tomorrow. We'll give out that contact information and they can answer all of your questions. So I'm going to have Kelsey start the slideshow real quick, give you a little introduction to Fox World Travel. Fox World Travel's been around since 1960. This is important for you to know because we are not some fly-by-night organization. We are not somebody that isn't going to be around after you've paid your deposit. For those of you who know travel, any travel agency that's survived all the events since 9/11, including the Iraqi War and the Gulf War and the recession of 2008, is doing something right. We are a family-owned company. We're closing in on 300 employees, just recently ranked number 27 on Travel Weekly's Power List for 2018. That means we moved up 3 spots from last year. And so partner with a lot of great vendors. We are one of the premier partners with Delta Airlines. But of course, one of our great partners is also Premier World Discovery, who you'll be hearing more from in just a bit. Next slide. So a little bit about the group department at Fox World Travel. What we do is we do take existing uh, itineraries and we add customization to them. We may add airfare. We may have shipboard credits on a cruise. If you know about our Alaska product, you might know about the jackets that we give. But in any event, we add amenities to these itineraries. We also do get special pricing because of the relationship we have with the vendors. And when we hit a minimum, which is almost always, we will be sending a Fox World Travel tour manager along with you on your trip. Now, the 3 tours you're going to hear about tonight are Great Trains and Grand Canyons, and that's in April, April 7th to be exact. The other one is California Coast and Yosemite National Park, that's May 2nd through the 11th, and Colorado Rockies and Rails, which is September 8th to the 16th. I do want to point out that on the Great Trains, which is that one in April, our good friend and colleague Colleen Alsberg will be the tour manager on that particular trip. California Coast and Yosemite National Park, Susan May, the manager of our group department. Many of you have already traveled with both of them. And then we have another tour manager that's new to Fox, but not new to tour managing. Cindy Singley will be doing the Colorado Rockies and Rails trip. One more thing I do want to point out, and I'll mention it again at the end. You will be hearing about a discount. It's $100 per person for anything that's booked and deposited by February 5th. And again, I will make that comment again at the end so that you can remember there is a call to action to get this booked in a timely manner. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kelsey from Premier World Discovery.
Well, thank you so much, Rose. Welcome, everyone. I am here in Minneapolis, so we aren't quite getting the snow you guys are in Wisconsin, but we are supposed to be getting the cold. So I also am happy to not be on the road tonight. I'm going to start tonight talking about our Great Trains and Grand Canyons tour. As Rose said, this departs on April 7th of this year. It features 5 nights in Sedona, Arizona, so it is a 1 hotel stay. And one thing that I do want to note about all the tours I'm talking about, they all have specific inclusions. They're all listed on the brochures that are provided by Fox World Travel, including the daily meals. Daily breakfast is included, as well as some unique dining experience in each of these tours. And all 3 tours have a professional tour guide along with your Fox World Travel escort. So about our Great Trains and Grand Canyons tour, we spend all 5 nights in Sedona, Arizona. Sedona is an upscale retirement resort and artist community. It's set amongst the breathtaking red sandstone rock formations, and they provide an incredible backdrop to the city and the resorts that we use in town here. So we use a couple different resorts in Sedona for all of our tours. Our beautiful resort properties are a great place to unpack and make your home for all 5 nights of the tour. Each resort has great amenities, including pools, spas, outdoor seating areas, and plenty of activities along the way. Some of the touring that you'll see on this tour include a Sedona trolley tour. The trolleys pick us up right at our resort and take us around the city. It's about a 55-minute guided tour around the city of Sedona. They'll make lots of stops along the way, one of which is at the Chapel of the Holy Cross. This is a church that was constructed in 1954 and was inspired by a Frank Lloyd Wright disciple. It's built right into the side of the Red Rocks overlooking the city of Sedona. We get to learn a lot about the surrounding landscape from our trolley drivers as well. They'll explain all of the rock formations, the names of each formation along the way as we go. And we make a stop at Airport Mesa. We take the trolleys to the top of the mesa to see sweeping views of the surrounding area as well as the city of Sedona itself. That afternoon is an optional, we have an optional tour available. It is an afternoon of leisure, so you can choose to spend the afternoon on your own or take an optional Jeep tour out into the canyon. The local driver guide takes the group out into Red Rock country for spectacular views in a very unique way to see the landscape of the area. We also have our first train trip of the tour, which starts in Williams, Arizona. This is a historic train station where we board the Grand Canyon Railway. Now, this railway, the route actually began in 1901. The station itself was built in 1908, but this train has continued to transport travelers from Williams, Arizona, all the way up to the south rim of the Grand Canyon each year. Now, we visit the south rim of the Grand Canyon, which is within the Grand Canyon National Park, where you will see one of the 7 wonders of the world. The spectacular beauty of the Grand Canyon cannot be duplicated. The canyon runs 280 miles in length. At its deepest point, it's nearly 6,000 feet deep. The widest point from the north to the south rim is about 18 miles, while the narrowest point is about a quarter mile wide. This attraction, or this site, attracts over millions of people each year. We'll have plenty of time to take in the spectacular beauty of the Grand Canyon before our motor coach takes us back down to Sedona for that evening. Another stop we make on this tour is to Montezuma's Castle National Monument. This is an incredibly preserved cliff dwelling. It was built by the Sinagua Indians and dates back to about the 12th century. We also make a stop in Jerome, an old mining town in which 2 mines produce roughly $1 billion worth of ore. The town itself is now considered a National Historic Landmark and has been preserved as the mining town that it once was in its heyday. Our second train trip of the tour is the Verde Canyon Railway. This is a wilderness train ride through the lush and beautiful Verde Valley. We ride in first-class train cars with panoramic views and have access to open-air cars to enjoy the scenery even more from the outdoors. The open-air cars also have a local guide on it that are happy to answer questions, and there's commentary throughout the train ride as well. One afternoon on the tour, we have a day of leisure on this tour built in, so travelers can experience the amenities of the resort and explore Sedona a little bit on their own. However, we do offer an optional tour this day to Sunset Crater, which is the site of an old volcanic eruption, and it also includes a trip to a Patki National Monument. So that's one and the same optional tour for that day of leisure. Our farewell dinner for this tour is at the Blazin' M Ranch, where you'll get to experience a true cowboy supper, including entertainment from the Blazin' M Cowboys. It's a wonderful way to end your time in Sedona. As we said, the trip departs on April 7th of this year. The prices are based on land only as well as an air inclusive price. Uh, Again, all of these minor details or all of these details can be found on the brochures from Fox World Travel. The second tour I'm going to talk about is our California Coast and Yosemite National Park tour. This departs on May 2nd. For this tour, we fly into Southern California. We fly into San Diego, which is California's oldest city, and we spend the first 2 nights of the tour here. We start our touring with the San Diego City Tour, which includes notable sites such as Balboa Park. Balboa Park is considered a recreation and cultural center, which includes 17 different museums and unique outdoor gardens. We will also get to see Old Town San Diego. This is really where the city started and is considered the birthplace of California. We do offer an optional San Diego Harbor cruise that is paired with the San Diego Zoo. So we have some leisure time in San Diego to explore on your own. However, we do offer an optional tour that includes the San Diego Harbor cruise and the zoo in town. Once we leave San Diego, we travel north. We'll travel through a little bit more of Southern California along the coast, and we will make a stop at the Mission San Juan Capistrano. This is a beautiful mission in Southern California known as the Jewel of the California Mission. It's home to many artifacts, treasures, and some stunning outdoor gardens. We arrive in the city of Los Angeles to do some touring. This is California's largest city, and it is home to 2/3 of all of the movies that are created in the United States. It's well known for its entertainment industry, but we will see some of the more unique aspects of the city as well, including the farmers market. This is personally one of my favorite places in Los Angeles. This historic landmark has been in Los Angeles since 1934. It started with farmers would come and park their trucks here. They would pay pennies per day to sell their goods, and eventually became a permanent building. Today it is home to over 100 vendors. We'll have some time to explore the farmers market, and then we'll head off and get to see Hollywood, one of the main attractions within the city. Hollywood is iconically known by the Hollywood sign that sits in the Hollywood Hills. We will also see Hollywood Boulevard. This is known for its Hollywood Walk of Fame, where the sidewalks are lined with stars that are named after notable Hollywood figures from film, TV, radio, music, and theater. We'll see sites like the Dolby Theater. This is the current home for the annual Academy Awards. And we will travel through Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills is a very well-known, I would say, suburb of Los Angeles. However, it is mainly a residential community. It is notable because it is home to Rodeo Drive. This city itself is very much known for its luxury, its wealth, and the fame that corresponds with the name Beverly Hills. We will also make a stop at the Reagan Library. We will visit the library, which is home to Air Force One, that the plane that was used during the Reagan presidency. It is also a state-of-the-art library that tells Ronald Reagan's story from childhood all the way through his presidency. From there, we travel along the Pacific Coast Highway north through Santa Barbara, which is one of California's most picturesque cities along the coast, and we make a stop at the Hearst Castle along the way. This is home to newspaper baron William Hearst, and this amazing estate is home to a priceless art collection. It has grandiose decor and unique features such as its Neptune pool. It has very ornate architecture and numerous outdoor gardens as well. From there, our travels take us along the Big Sur coast. This is a 30-mile stretch of coastline that offers views of seaside cliffs, natural beauty of California, and you might have the chance to see some sea lions along the way as well. We'll travel along the 17-mile drive, which is considered one of the most beautiful stretches of highway in the world. You'll see iconic sites like the Lone Cypress seen here. Pebble Beach also sits along the 17-mile drive and is known for being home to one of the most premier golf courses in the country. From there, we visit the cities of Carmel and Monterey, where you will visit the Old Town in Monterey, which is a National Historic Landmark. We travel through the San Joaquin Valley. The San Joaquin Valley is one of the most agriculturally rich areas in the state. It is known as the breadbasket of California. You can find all kinds of locally grown fruits and vegetables fresh from the farm in this area. And we make a stop at a local fruit stand so you can try some of their goods as well. We arrive in the Yosemite National Park area, where we visit Yosemite National Park and its spectacular beauty. It was established by Abraham Lincoln as America's first state park. We will see a lot of the sites that are notable, including Half Dome. It is one of the most famous granite peaks in the park, and it was actually formed by the separation of two ice glaciers. Yosemite is also home to 6 major waterfalls, including Yosemite Falls and well-known Upper and Lower Falls of Yosemite. And actually, the time that we're traveling on this tour in May is the time of year when the waterfalls in Yosemite are the most abundant. From there, we head to Sacramento, the capital city of California. You'll have the opportunity to visit the Old Town District in Sacramento, which was once the hub of commercialism during the gold rush. So a lot of gold rush history in this part of the city. From there, we'll visit Napa Valley, the most renowned wine growing region in the United States. We will make a stop at a local winery where we will learn about the agriculture of producing wine, the variety of wines that are produced in this region in particular, and enjoy a tasting along the way as well. From there, we head to San Francisco, the city by the bay. We will visit the more well-known sites in the city, including Golden Gate Park. This is a large urban park that covers over 1,000 acres right within the city. It includes this conservatory, as well as a Japanese Zen garden and running waterways. The Golden Gate Bridge is probably the city's most iconic site. It spans the mile-wide channel across San Francisco Bay. It stretches over a mile long and provides spectacular sights of the Bay Area. We'll have an opportunity to drive across the bridge, enjoy the views, and stop at a viewing area to get pictures and see a different vantage point of the bridge as well. We have some leisure time built into San Francisco as well, and during that leisure time, we have an optional tour available to the Muir Woods. This is where we will be able to see some spectacular old growth redwoods. This tour departs on May 2nd of this year, and again, the price is dependent on land only or air-inclusive pricing. And again, details are all available from your Fox World Travel agent. The last tour I'm going to touch on is our Colorado Rockies and Rails and Western National Parks tour. This is a spectacular way to see 5 different national parks in one 9-day tour. We depart September 8th of this year. We fly in and out of Denver. We spend the first night of the tour in Denver, the Mile High City, nicknamed due to its elevation of 5,280 feet above sea level. This tour is comprised of visits to 5 different national parks, as well as a few state parks and a couple rail journeys. The first national park that we visit along the way is Rocky Mountain National Park. This is a place of natural beauty from wooded forests to alpine peaks and mountainous tundra. The park has over 60 peaks that are taller than 12,000 feet, and some are older than 130 million years old. It's a spectacular place to enjoy the scenery along the route. From there, you will visit Canyonlands National Park. This is Utah's largest national park, and it consists of deeply eroded canyons combined with mesas and spires and arches along the way. The park itself is actually divided into 4 districts. The 4 districts are called the Green and Colorado Rivers. It's a place where the rivers form a Y and separating a few of the districts. The Maze, this is a very remote location within the park. People say it can take a lot of time to get to, and people usually spend days out there visiting because of its remote location. We'll have a chance to see the needles as well in Canyonlands National Park. These are the unique spires or hoodoos that are found in the park, and the Islands in the Sky District. So 4 separate, distinct districts within Canyonlands National Park. We will also visit Dead Horse Point State Park. This offers dramatic views of the Colorado River, and it may look familiar as it was used for scenes within the Thelma and Louise movie. Our next stop is in Arches National Park. This is our 3rd national park that we visit. It is comprised of over 2,000 rock arches, all within the singular park. To be classified as an arch, the arch's opening must measure at least 3 feet across. New arches are constantly being formed while some of the old ones occasionally collapse because of erosion. The longest arch is in Moab, and it is named the Landscape Arch. It is 306 feet in length. It is eroding, so the arch will eventually collapse in on itself, but it's a spectacular sight to see. Airplanes actually are not allowed to travel over Arches National Park because of the vibrations from the planes could potentially break all of the arch's delicate features. We will also have a chance to visit Durango and ride on the Silverton Gauge Railroad. This is an 1881 steam-powered train that serviced historic mining towns, hauling out over $300 million worth of gold and silver from this area. Very historic train ride. It has been considered and voted on as one of the world's top 10 train rides. We also visit the Mesa Verde National Park. You will get an opportunity to visit the cliff dwellings and learn the culture and lifestyle of the Anasazi Indians. Mesa Verde is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it has over 4,000 dig sites right within the park and over 600 cliff dwellings. The Cliff Palace is the largest cliff dwelling within the park, and it is the largest cliff dwelling in North America for that matter. It is 800 years old and was home to over 100 people with over 200 rooms within this singular dwelling. From there, we visit the Great Sand Dunes National Park. This looks like an anomaly. The desert and the mountains are combined in this one area. Some of the park's dunes are as tall as 750 feet tall, some of the tallest in North America. So a very unique setting here in this national park. From there, we visit Pikes Peak. We will deviate slightly from the original itinerary. The train to the top of Pikes Peak has actually been shut down indefinitely due to unsafe infrastructure. So we will take specialized smaller buses to the top of the 14,000-foot tall mountain and still get to experience the spectacular views. They say on a clear day from the top of Pikes Peak, you're able to see all the way to Denver, which is about 75 miles away, or all the way to New Mexico, which is about 100 miles away. So spectacular views from the top of Pikes Peak. From there, we visit the Garden of the Gods. This is actually a public park and a national natural landmark. It has beautiful views of different red rock formations, beautiful red, orange, pink and white sandstone and limestone formations as well. We will also have the opportunity to visit the U.S. Air Force Academy. This is where cadets train to become officers in the Air Force. We get to tour the Visitors Center with exhibits on cadet life and the chapel and the Academy's history. Last but not least, we get to experience America's most spectacular rail journey aboard the Royal Gorge Railroad. This train ride travels along the Arkansas River in the 1,000-foot deep granite cliffs of the Royal Gorge. They have unique sights along the way, including a hanging bridge, and we will get a chance to see the Royal Gorge Bridge as well, which is a man-made feat. It is 955 feet above the canyon's base, and it is among the tallest suspension bridges in the world at over 1,200 feet long. Again, this trip leaves on September 8th of next year. Price is dependent on land only or air inclusive. And again, that information is available with your Fox World Travel local agent.
So that concludes our presentation. Thank you, Kelsey. That was a lot of information. And as she said, we can certainly help you with the information that you're going to require. I know there are questions that you probably have. What will happen tomorrow is there will actually be an email going out, and there will be links in that email to the 3 trips that we talked about. The other thing we do want to encourage you to do is check out our website. It's foxworldtravel.com. Under the groups tab, you will find Fox Vacation Groups. And there you have an opportunity to click on these 3 trips and get more details as well. I want to point out again that the discount, the $100 per person discount, is for trips that are booked and deposited by February 5th. So that's coming up soon. And we really look forward to working with you on these trips. Kelsey, anything else you want to add?
Nope, that's all from me. I'm here for any questions, and I am in close contact with your agents at all of the Fox World Travel branches as well. So let us know if you have any questions.
Perfect. So hopefully we're going to see you on one of the American Wonders trips with Fox World Travel and Premier World Discovery sometime in 2019. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.